to censor female anatomy when it's already censored in sex ed and the way we learn about our bodies. Like, of course, it's intentional. It's to keep people misinformed, because the more people know about their bodies, the inherently anti-patriarchal they become, because they start to know more about what they desire and want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's infuriating.
You're listening to The Pelvic Freak Show
with your hosts, Amanda Neary and Hannah Meyer. Hey, pelvic freaks. Welcome back to another episode of The Pelvic Freak Show,
where you're freaks for us and we're freaks for your pelvis, baby.
We are pissed off today. Hannah, tell us why we're pissed off.
We are mad because the world hates women again.
Always. But it's just so it's so blatant and apparent right now. Also, I'm PMSing really hard, so this stuff is pissing me off extra today, and we just want to complain about it. And it's also for a good cause, because this stuff is important and it's important to talk about.
It's been a while since we've had a little rant-isode, and when things are involving women, we want to talk about it.
For sure.
So we're talking about some current events going on today.
Where to even start? We thought of three big ones that we're going to center this episode around, because we know we can get off track if we just start yapping our faces off. So should we start with Chappel?
Yeah, we can start with Chappel Roan.
Guys, if you are on social media and you see anything on your timeline about Chappel Roan, you have definitely seen the controversy over her hating children, quote unquote. And let's just debunk that right off the bat, because the truth is somewhere that it's a he said, she said situation. And Chappel has come out and said what was initially said on social media did not actually happen. Like, basically what happened is the Brazilian soccer player Jorginho, which I don't even know who that is, but now I do because of this scandal that came out. He posted on his Instagram story that his wife and kid were at the same restaurant as Chappel Roan in the hotel, and she tried to smile at her, and Chappel Roan's guard basically like yelled at the kid and traumatized her. Chappel promptly went on her story and was like, I'm just going to explain what happened. That guard wasn't even mine. I don't hate children. I don't hate people who like my music. Like, she literally had to go and say these things. And she said it casually in Chappel fashion, no media training. That's just her style. And then she started getting responses about how her apology didn't seem genuine. It wasn't an apology. She wasn't apologizing because she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't even see the kid. Mm-hmm. That's like her. That's what she said. You want to intervene?
From the beginning, Chappel Roan has set boundaries. She became a star later in life. Hannah Montana is like one of her like big inspirations for like becoming famous. That's why she was on the Hannah Montana reunion, or not reunion. She was on the Hannah Montana like 20th anniversary special. I was like, Chappel, what are you doing here? But she doesn't want to be in the spotlight all the time. So like a big boundary for her is having distance from her fans and the paparazzi, and being able to live like somewhat of a normal life too. And she's been really clear from that from the start, and people just think that they should have access to celebrities at all times, and it's super toxic. And I feel like she's just been the most vocal about it from the start. And then from the start, people have just decided like, okay, now we're going to hate on you for that forever. So anytime something like little happens like this in the media, it blows up, and it's like, Chappel's hating her fans again. Chappel's so mean. And it's even like women will make TikToks and they'll be like, are we surprised like Chappel Roan's being rude again? And it's like, you guys like don't need to have access to everyone at all times. I don't know when this started. It's so weird.
It would never be happening if it was a guy. It doesn't happen. We don't see it happen. And there are so many male celebrities that are assholes to their fans, but we never hear about that.
I haven't heard about it.
Haven't heard about it one time. And also, that's not even what happened in this situation. Like, it wasn't her security guard. Mm-hmm. It wasn't her order to go yell at this kid or whatever happened, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, the action of the person is being put on Chappel when it wasn't even, she didn't go up to the kid and say like, stop looking at me, right? Like that didn't happen.
But it like gets framed that way.
Totally.
Because people know that the narrative is already out there that like Chappell doesn't like her fans. Chappell is so mean, whatever. So people just feed into it because they know people are going to like clickbait, like love that stuff and like have something to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And for anyone that's like, oh, I have no reason to believe that she loves her fans. Like, trust me, I've seen her live 3 times. And the last time I saw her in LA, she literally could not keep it together on stage. She was so emotional, thanking the people that have supported her. Like, she loves her fans, and it comes across so apparently if you actually sit and listen to her talk. And even if you watched her Instagram story, if you took that as like she's being fake and it's not a real apology, I really struggle to see if you have discernment in judging people's characters, because I just think you are looking for reasons to hate women, and especially lesbian women. Like, this is something... Lesbophobia is so apparent in pop culture, and it's like, okay, this woman is a lesbian. She has attributed all of her success to Black trans individuals for her entire career.
Yeah, from day one.
From day one, she set up a separate fundraiser for queer kids in the United States, and she donates a percentage of every dollar she makes to that fundraiser, and she has raised thousands, if not millions of dollars at this point. I don't even know how much she's raised so far. She literally like puts her money where her mouth is, and she talks about it. She talks about issues, and okay, maybe she doesn't have media training. Maybe she's still in her 20s. Like a lot of you probably are. And if you were put on camera, you might not say things perfectly, and no one gives her grace. She's just a mean lesbian pop star. No, I'm not. It's
so true. That's how they paint her.
And it's because a lot of cis hetero people view lesbians as these like hateful people. Like, oh, I'm a lesbian, so I don't buy into any hetero culture, and I hate men, and like I only like women. I've chosen this life for myself. Like, that's not what being a lesbian is. Like, they are the most compassionate, wonderful people that support causes in our society, and people paint them as these villains. It's just like so insane to me, and I just needed to rant about it.
It's a problem that we've talked about from like even last year. We have episodes on Chappel Roan.
Yeah, and
and smear campaigns against women,
literally, and it's so obviously a smear campaign. Again, I struggle to see your discernment if you can't see that.
Yeah. And
then there was an article that came out that said a lot of the drivers for the smear campaign were actually bot accounts.
Whoa.
On the initial
because that's like what gets the clicks.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to see, except for the accounts that I follow and that we follow in the Pelvic Freak Show account, of Chappel Roan donating this amount of money. Chappel Roan does this for the community. Chappel Roan doing this. It's going to be the things that get the clicks is, here's a video of Chappel Roan yelling at paparazzi to get away from her, which so many celebrities do, by the way. But it gets like bumped up because there's this narrative that the media has painted for her in order to get more money.
Totally.
And it's just easy. So they're like, we might as well just keep feeding into this.
And the only criticism I have seen on Chappel Roan, actually from people who have like followed her and seen her brand and are critically thinking about it, are like, oh, I support everything she does. I'm mad at her for doing a campaign with Mac, who supports Israel, apparently. And I'm like, okay, that's a valid criticism, but like, people are taking the tiniest thing and canceling her. And then the people that actually care and have followed her are using discernment. And they're like, okay, this isn't a cool thing you did, but like, that doesn't make me fully unsupport you as a person, because I know what your values are, because I followed you from day one. Like, I can critique you. If I can't be in conflict with you, I can't be in community with you. If I need to cancel you for every little thing you do, then you're not my community. And the people that are in her community and have something to say, like, that's important. We should be able to hold people accountable and still value them and see what their values are. So I just have so much I could say about Chappel.
The only thing I've seen lately that was criticism for a man is the Timothy Chalamet comment when he was like, no one cares about opera and ballet. I was like, oof, they're going to eat this up. And they did. And I was like, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for holding a man accountable for his words for once, like for real.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen anything. That's like the first time I've seen a man be criticized in the media in a long time.
Yeah. And even like the Summer House stuff, I don't follow it closely, but I know enough that like Amanda is now having a connection with Sierra's ex and they're friends. So that's, that's shitty that she did that. And it is, but like, I only see critiques of her and not the ex that was like, why are you now sleeping with your ex's best friend? I don't know. You just always see the side that's like framing the woman as the villain.
Yeah. If we talk about reality TV for a second again, I want to talk about Traitors for a second, because how Ralph, wait, you finished it, right? Because you were like traveling the world.
Yeah.
Rob won in the most schemy way possible, which whatever, it's the point of the show. But I seriously wonder if the roles were reversed and there was a woman playing Rob's role, if it would have gone the same way. Because he had such like toxic masculine traits the whole season, which just like worked out for him because he got everyone to trust him and like everyone loved him the whole season. Like, I just really wonder if this was a woman and it was flipped, if people at the end would have been like, you did great, you did amazing, like you schemed us all.
Totally. People are praising his game as if it's like never been seen before. There's no critique on his game. And if it was Maura at the end and their roles were flipped, they would have been like, oh, she got lucky because she's cute or whatever, and people just trusted her. Like,
because that's how Gabby Wendy was.
Yeah.
Because they were like, I remember one of the traitors, it was a woman, I think it was Danielle, was like, oh, Gabby's just so sweet, she's just there. I'm like, this woman's a freaking nurse, like an ER nurse, right? Like, she's super smart and she's like over there collecting evidence, and you have no idea, and she freaking won the show.
And she won.
But she's not congratulated in the same way that Rob is.
No.
It's like, you just made it to the end because you're cute and pretty.
Even with Rob and Maura and their like flirtationship, whatever, in the castle, people online are like, oh, Maura's just so in love with Rob. It's so apparent the whole season. Like, he is the one blatantly hitting on her during the season.
Yeah.
She never once hit on him. He was like, oh, I'd love to see Maura at night. Like, oh, like I can show you like a bachelor date. Like, he's the one making these passes at her
all the time.
And she's the one that's in love with him, quote unquote. Like, it's just so fucked. Like,
I think like she said like, oh, Rob's so hot, oh, Rob's looking so good, but so did like Dorinda the whole season was like, Rob's my husband, my traitor's husband.
Yeah.
Like, so many people were saying that because you know, he's a hottie, right?
Yeah.
So
and it has to be her obsessed with him because he's the man, right? Like, they don't care that he was obsessed with her.
This is us just doing an analytical deep dive into reality TV. And we're not a podcast that reviews reality TV shows, but we are a podcast that likes to analyze when women are being the way women are being impacted in the media.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important we talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We said we were going to stick to 3 topics, and we are already
I think we've already
spiraling.
done 3 or 4, and we haven't even gotten to our second 2.
The Traitors thing is something I've been wanting to talk about for a minute, though.
No, that was a good ad lib. We needed that.
Yeah, I completely forgot about it because it's been a minute. But I need a woman to come out there, and I so badly wanted Maura to turn her on Rob at the end and freaking like,
I know.
I wanted it so bad.
It
Like,
would have been so good.
it would have been amazing, but you know, it's fine, whatever. But that's just shows the manipulative powers of a straight white cis man.
Literally. Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. Do we want to stay on the lesbophobia and do my second one? And
let's stay on the lesbophobia.
All right, guys, Bridgerton. Let's talk about it. I don't watch the show. I just never really liked it, to be honest. And I know that I don't know why. I watched it. I'm like, it's not for me. Season 1, I was not that invested. So I just haven't kept up with it. But I have heard the discourse. And honestly, I will tune into season 5 because it's a queer storyline. And I just want to see how and they have said that it's going to be queer joy, which is really important. I'll get back to that in a minute. What happened is people are now saying, oh, that's not how the book went. They're not following the books as if it's the first time the show has not followed the books, which is not true. Season 3 and 4 did not follow the books. So the only seasons that really followed the books are the first 2 seasons, but they're blaming their hatred for this upcoming queer storyline, which I forget the characters. I know one of them's Francesca, but they have a love story with each other, these 2 women. They're blaming their hatred for that storyline on the fact that it's not following the books, quote unquote. And the distaste for the season is just so apparent and vicious online. And it's people just blatantly hating on the fact that it's going to be a queer storyline. To be honest, like they're trying to frame it as a different reason, but it's just so apparently lesbophobic and queerphobic. Which brings me back to the queer joy comment, because do we all remember heated rivalry and the response that got on social media, and everyone saying, this is so important. Like expressing queer joy is so important, and this is the best show, this is revolutionary. These same straight women that put heated rivalry and honestly fetishize the fuck out of it, put it on a pedestal, wouldn't shut up about it, are now hating on Bridgerton because it's a woman loving woman storyline. And that is just so obviously lesbophobic to me.
I feel like these people, they don't even realize that they're doing it.
They don't
realize the internalized misogyny they're carrying that causes them to feel like they hate Bridgerton season 5 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's not something that they're actively choosing. I'm theorizing. It's like it's so built in that they have to break down in order to realize like, oh, why did I love heated rivalry, but I hate this?
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, because one comment I read that I found value in was that watching a woman loving woman storyline forces straight women to analyze their own pleasure and joy and what they are or are not getting out of their relationship. And the comments coming up like, oh, I'm so jealous of like queer women, I wish I had this, this, and this, they're so cute. Like all of that is also internalized misogyny, right? Like they're not ever analyzing their own pleasure in their hetero relationship, if that's how they identify. So that's a really good point.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I mean, I used to live in Kentucky. I know how people talk about queer shows, or when they're watching a show and all of a sudden there's a queer relationship. This is the comment. Why does it have to be in every show now? Why does it have to be in everything? Like shoved in my face. It's like, what do you mean?
What do you actually mean? Because it's literally not.
It's not. And also, this representation is important. Not everyone is in a straight heterosexual relationship. Just because you and the people around you are doesn't mean this doesn't exist. So it's important for it to exist in media.
Yeah.
It's so weird hearing people talk about it, and it's hard to kind of say that in the conversation because you're never going to convince anyone. But yeah. Just wanted to say that right now.
And for those people, the conversation of representation mattering, they feel like it's in their face, right? But for a lesbian watching the show and seeing an actual lesbian relationship that is joyful and it's not traumatic and there's not yearning that doesn't pan out, that's so rare. I follow a lesbian creator. I forget her handle, but her analysis of the situation was like, I have analyzed all the queer women loving women storylines I've seen in the past few years, and only like 6% of them were actually queer joy. Can you imagine just never seeing you represented on screen having joy?
Or yeah, because I'm thinking of like Tell Me Lies, how like it's always like it's like the secret. It's like it's so bad. It's like
right.
I didn't finish Tell Me Lies though. I'm not done yet, but so I don't know if it changes at all. But like even just like Pippa having like realizing that she's into women and like having to keep it secret from everyone. It's always represented in that way, and I hate that.
There's always a negative coming out story, alienation from family, someone not being able to tell their family so their relationship ends. Like there's so much tragedy associated with it, and there's not enough just freaking joy, which is what people loved about heated rivalry.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah.
When we talked about heated rivalry.
It's important.
I would love to see a woman version of heated rivalry. Like I would love to have even just like a show dedicated to it. Like I want it to get the same amplitude.
I know, I do too.
Like, so badly.
So badly. I will be sad when that comes out.
Times are changing. I mean, we see this all the time. I mean, it's always the struggle is against women's sports.
Oh my God.
Even, you know what I mean? Like if you just think about how that's represented in the media, it's just...
Well, when Heated Rivalry came out, I wasn't in Tanzania. After Heated Rivalry came out, Andy and I were in Tanzania on the mountain, and one of our like team members for the hike, we were talking about Heated Rivalry as a group, and one of them was like, yeah, it's just wild watching this and like it being so weird for them to come out, because I feel like all female athletes that are queer are out, and Andy and I are like scratching our heads like, no, not how that happens. Like, do you know how long it takes female athletes to be comfortable coming out and being who they are. Like, this is something that is still being experienced, even though the show took place in 2014. Honestly, from this rant, I'm assuming most of our public freaks are in agreement with us. But if you're like genuinely one of those people that feels that way, like there's too much queer media, like where's my representation? Imagine how it feels from the other side. Just put yourself in someone else's shoes and say, okay, a lot less of this is about me, and now I'm getting something that is joyful, and just enjoy that for them. Just be a little selfless. It's fine.
Yeah, having this representation in media is so important to see happy lesbian relationships, and also in shows that aren't traditionally queer. Like, all of a sudden there's a queer relationship because the people watching that show maybe aren't watching the show for the queer relationship, right? But now all of a sudden it's in the show, and now you're being forced to watch it, and that's good. Yes. Because it's being normalized, and it's good for you to see that.
Totally.
Like, it helps.
It totally helps. And something that just came up, last point, I swear. If you're like, oh, I don't think lesbians are hated that much. Whenever there is some lesbian representation on social media, there is always a comment that says, oh, did you know that divorce rates are 70% for lesbian couples and only 50% for hetero couples? There's always that comment, and it's based on a study that looked at queer women's divorce rates over their whole lifetime, including if they had divorced a male partner and then came out as gay. So of course that divorce rate is going to be higher. Like, it's not isolated to women loving women relationships. And it's just like the easiest example of how people take data and twist it to make it hateful.
Yeah.
That's just gonna exist, and
this the toxic side of social media that we freaking hate and that we're just used to by now.
Yeah. And discernment is my new word of the year, I think, because I'm looking for it in other people. We're all lacking it in the rise of bots and AI, and people are just taking something and making it their own thought, and it's literally melting our brains. And people need to just use a little bit of critical thinking sometimes.
That's your favorite phrase. Critical thinking. We need it.
Critical thinking, yes.
So the words of the year are discernment and frivolity. Okay, we're going to move on to our last discussion topic, because this is a problem that we're actively facing and if you don't follow us on Instagram, you should, at The Pelvic Freak Show, because that's where we post question boxes for our episodes and storytime boxes and fun meme content and all the things. And it's a good community. Anyways, going back to what I was saying, something that we're actively facing on social media is not being able to use the word clitoris or sex or etc. We have to censor in order to get that content out there. And even then, our views are still shielded. It's so hard to grow as a women's health, quote unquote, or pelvic health podcast that talks about ways to destigmatize sex or talk centered around sex because of the censorship online. You automatically get flagged. So one of our favorite accounts that we follow that has sent to us vibrators to look at, to try out, and has even collabed with us on posts to get our listeners free vibrators is BellesaCo. So I don't know if you guys have seen the most recent events with BellesaCo, but their account got suspended by Meta.
Fully removed,
like completely removed from Meta, from Instagram. And they had 687,000 followers. And for a women's health platform, that's huge, especially with how open they are with their conversations online. It's super important. Let me find the post where they described what happened, and I think it's on BellesaCo Censored.
Wasn't it that they were flagged for using the word clitoris specifically?
They were flagged for using the word clitoris, and then here it is. Instagram just deleted BellesaCo, one of the largest women's sexual health communities on its platform. Instagram has permanently removed BellesaCo at BellesaCo, a sexual health platform that built a community of over 700,000 followers over a decade, many of them women and LGBTQ plus people seeking accessible, stigma-free education. The account disappeared overnight, with Meta citing, quote unquote, sexually explicit language, including the use of anatomically correct terminology like clitoris in the context. The removal comes just days after a major court ruling ordered Meta to pay $375 million over child safety failures, raising questions about enforcement priorities and platform accountability. While harmful actors remain active, educators focused on sexual wellness are being censored. Obviously, they got a lot of hate from that, from, people like us. Going on that, the post says, meanwhile, erectile dysfunction ads run freely across the platform, promoted and paid for without restriction. Treatments for men are framed as legitimate health content, while medically accurate language about women's bodies is flagged and removed.
That part.
And they had a community of over 700,000 people at the time when they got their account fully removed, which I would be devastated if our account got removed, and we only have followers in thousands.
100%.
And we have such a great community. So the fact that it could happen to Bellesa, that's such a strong community, terrifies me for if it could happen to us, because we talk about sexual content all the time, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, I was scared too when I read it.
I was like, we need to go look back on our posts. We need to make sure things are accurate. We need to change to make sure it doesn't say sex in our bio. But there's so many accounts that have sex in their bio that aren't women centered.
Yeah. No, it's disgusting that erectile dysfunction isn't that's not flagged, but clitoris is. That just makes me so upset. The word penis doesn't get flagged as often. People have studied that before. To censor female anatomy when it's already censored in sex ed and the way we learn about our bodies, of course it's intentional. It's to keep people misinformed, because the more people know about their bodies, the inherently anti-patriarchal they become, because they start to know more about what they desire and want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's infuriating. Bellesa has not stopped. So they made a second account called Bellesa Censored. That account also got taken down initially because they were posting all of the stuff from their interaction with Meta. And I think the piece of it that's important is the lawsuit that Meta faced right before canceling their account, because they were held accountable for not keeping children safe, right? And they needed to take a stand and say, we're going to keep children safe. We're going to cancel this account that talks about sex and women's health. Because one, that's what is unsafe for children to see. And two, that's going to be easier for us to justify in a legal sense.
Yeah.
To get rid of a woman's account than it is to get rid of a man's account.
That's actually such a good point.
Yeah.
And they looked at the accounts and they were like, this makes sense. Yeah. This will be easy. This will give us a good oh, hey, look, we're doing something.
Right.
This is our action.
Right.
And it blew up. Guys, if you want to help out, follow us on social media.
Please.
We're pelvic health, sexual health, content makers, generators on social media. So super important to support us if you aren't already.
Yeah, please follow us, guys. And also follow us here on whatever platform you're listening on. If it's YouTube, if it's Spotify, if it's Apple, it helps us with reach, because as we know, it is hard to put the right language that's not going to get censored into our episodes and into our social media content to actually get that reach to help people understand their bodies better. And at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. So follows go a long way and shares go a long way.
Yeah. Those were our main hits that we wanted to talk about. It's been too long that we haven't complained in a while.
That was cathartic. I feel better.
It's so fun to gossip about things that matter.
Yeah. No, it really that's actually so funny because it's true. And it's a good example of how gossip is beneficial for women because it helps us protect each other. People make fun of women gossiping and they're like, it's so stupid and airheaded and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, we're literally gossiping about things that matter. Mm-hmm. This stuff matters. We need to be talking about it. We
want to know if you guys agree with us.
Yeah.
We need you to comment on the episode.
We do.
Send us a DM. Let us know your thoughts on these things these current events that we're talking about. Okay. Yeah. Please let us know.
Please let us know. Give us a follow. Give us a 5-star rating. We love you.
If you like episodes like this and you see something on social media that pisses you off, can you send it to us so that we can yap about it?
Ooh, please DM it to us. We'll love that.
Yeah. And DM to us and be like, yo, please talk about this. And we will. We'll bring it up in our episode. Mm-hmm. You already know.
All right. Bye, pelvic freaks.
Bye, pelvic freaks.